Rain fell hard that evening, turning the quiet streets into shimmering rivers of silver. A woman named Clara, exhausted from another long shift and lost in her thoughts, almost didn't notice the small figure standing under a flickering streetlight. But as she slowed her car, her heart skipped a beat. A little boy, no older than 6, stood there drenched, clutching a small backpack and trembling in the cold. She had no idea that stopping her car at that moment would change both of their lives forever. Before we begin this deeply moving story, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Grateful Tales for more heart-touching stories of love, hope, and faith in humanity. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from, and let's spread kindness together. The rain poured relentlessly as Clara stepped out of her car, her umbrella barely holding against the wind. She knelt beside the boy who looked up with wide, frightened eyes. His name, he said softly, was Evan. He didn't know where his mom was, only that they'd gotten separated when the storm started. Clara's heart broke at the sight of his soaked clothes and quivering lips. Without hesitation, she opened her car door and told him gently, "Let's get you somewhere warm." Inside the car, the heater hummed softly. Evan sat wrapped in her spare sweater, quiet but calm now. Clara tried to ask him questions, but he didn't know much, only that his mother had gone to get help and never came back. She called the local authorities, reporting what she'd found, but as the minutes stretched into hours, no one claimed the boy. Something inside her, a feeling she couldn't explain, told her to stay close, to not let him go just yet. That night, Clara brought Evan home. She made him soup, helped him dry his clothes, and set up a small bed on her couch. As he fell asleep, she watched him from across the room. There was something about his calm breathing, his small hand clutching the corner of the blanket. Something familiar, though she couldn't place it. It had been years since she'd lost her own baby during childbirth. A pain she'd buried deep but never truly healed from. Days passed and still no word from the police. They told her they were trying to locate his mother, but for now, Evan would stay with Clara as part of a temporary foster arrangement. He began to smile more, especially when Clara cooked breakfast or helped him with little puzzles. He even called her Miss Clara with a shy grin. And though she told herself it was temporary, every time she looked into his bright green eyes, a quiet voice inside whispered, "This feels like home." One evening, while tidying his backpack, Clara found something tucked deep inside, a small, worn-out photo. It showed a young woman holding a baby in a hospital blanket. The woman looked heartbreakingly familiar. Clara froze, her fingers trembling. It couldn't be. The photo had her face, or at least someone who looked exactly like her. On the back, a faint note read, "To my boy, I'll find you again one day." Her mind raced. She contacted the authorities, but no record matched the woman in the photo. Still, she couldn't shake the feeling that fate was at work. A week later, the social worker called with news that would change everything. Evan's birth records had been found. The woman listed as his biological mother had passed away years earlier, but the hospital records revealed something even more shocking. The boy had been born in the same hospital. On the same day, Clara had lost her newborn. Tears filled her eyes as the truth unfolded. A clerical error years ago, a switched file, a baby sent to another ward during the chaos of that night. Evan wasn't just any lost child. He was her son, the one she had grieved for all those years, the one she thought she'd never see again. When she told Evan the truth, she knelt before him, tears streaming down her face. He didn't understand everything, but when she opened her arms, he ran to her without hesitation. "Does that mean you're my mom?" he whispered. She held him tightly, sobbing, whispering, "Yes, sweetheart. I always was." Months later, the paperwork was finalized. The courts confirmed what her heart had known all along. Evan was home. On the day the adoption became official, Clara stood by the window, the rain falling softly outside, just like the night she found him. But this time, there was warmth in every drop, the kind that only love can bring. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Grateful Tales. Tell us in the comments how this story made you feel and where you're watching from. Every story shared spreads kindness, hope, and gratitude, and together we keep faith in humanity alive.